Hello, hello.
We are back.
We are
It's
back.
Part 2 with Leah Burton from Title and Escrow to educate us on what we need to know. Drinking a little wine from Trader Joe's. This is the Roseta Rosé, which is almost gone now because, of course, it's Part 2. But the best part, I forgot to tell you, is, you guys, $5.99. And I just came across this little beauty because I love the bottle and thought, why not try it? And actually, it's delicious.
It's really good.
Hence the reason we're almost gone.
Yeah. $6 Chuck.
Yeah, porch pounder.
Yeah.
And the cheese is delicious. We're just eating through that, talking escrow and drinking wine, eating cheese. It's what we do. Again, I'm Mindy Hay with Union Home Mortgage.
And I am Daphne Tappert with PPG.
And I'm Leah Burton with WFG Title.
Yay!
Yay! Well, thank you. Thanks for being with us for Part 2.
Yes. And I did mention this on the first one, so I'll say it again. Guys, this is my dream team right here. This is where the magic happens. I truly can tell you that I can credit a huge part of my success to these amazing women and being able to work with just such lovely people and just phenomenally professional women. And so, that's a big thing for us. We're always wanting to champion and encourage women in business. And this is definitely, I feel so blessed to have met both of these amazing women. And so we did want to talk a little bit more about escrow and title, and love for Leah to share some things with her about some of the things that maybe she's come across as well. And so let's get that started. So let's kick it off with talking about with the whole NAR lawsuit. And I know that there's some people who are thinking
hot topic.
Yeah, very hot topic. They're thinking, well, fine, I'll just do it. I'll go at it alone. I don't want to pay, this and that, and I'll just go at it alone. And what have you seen with that?
Yeah, so we do close many for sale by owner transactions where buyers or sellers are unrepresented, and you can definitely tell, if they aren't familiar with real estate and how it works, that there is a missing link. They don't have that advocate. A lot of times they don't know, the timelines or the certain steps or what to expect. We do see sometimes at the very end, they're disappointed or they didn't understand something. And a lot of times it's because they didn't have that advocate there or that person that was there to negotiate for them or to show them, what costs were associated in the transaction, what to expect. They weren't aware of when they had to be out of the house or how they gave keys at the end or any of those little details.
Who does give the key? That's so weird.
They have to do it all on their own. And so I think it is definitely a better experience if you do have an agent representing you. Looking out for your best interests.
A team. You need a team behind you is what it comes down to.
And a local team. I feel like, we see a lot of lenders that are out of state. They might not be familiar with like the Oregon tax year and certain specifics that you as the local lender
we know our states. Well, the other thing too is like as far as just having a local lender, what we want to do is we want to spoil our clients because we want those to be clients for life. We want to spoil our real estate agents and partners that we work with because we want to earn their business and we love doing what we do. So when you have someone online that's doing it, it's just a transaction. They don't care. They're not looking to have you as a client for life. They are not looking to establish this deep relationship with an agent. They are literally looking to get it off their books and move on.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is something that oftentimes I see fees worksheets and it's like, oh, are you aware that you're being charged $10,000 for this rate? No, I had no idea. So a lot of times it's just, they just don't understand because the online lenders oftentimes just don't take the time to go over, their fees worksheet. And then it comes to you and then they're upset. And, it's
And have you
tough.
seen that before?
We have seen that, we just had an out-of-state lender where we had to explain how the tax year, works here in Oregon, what to collect for the escrow account. They had been underquoting the buyer throughout the process. That added unexpected fees at the end. That happens when you don't have a local team that really wants to be part of your tribe and make sure that you're taken care of.
And who doesn't love a fun surprise, sitting there signing and, you need $10,000 more to close, or $5,000 more to close.
Or when the tax bill comes and all of a sudden your escrow account is 7 months short. Whoopsie daisy.
Yeah. So important that you really do work with people who are going to be able to care for you. I know it's more convenient sometimes to hop on and get that rocket mortgage, which, I'm sure that's helped some people, but really, wouldn't it be nice to be able to have somebody that is local and that really knows what's happening? And more importantly, who know one another, that we can actually, I can reach out and say, hey, Leah, I had a question about this. Or, one of the things that I've always loved about you and your team is that I can get a hold of you guys and ask for just things that most people I don't think really think about, like, we need a notary. My client's going to be out of town, or my client is not going to be able to get to your office.
Or out of the country. Sometimes people love to plan trips out of the country right when they're closing.
Yes, no, absolutely. And so it is so nice to be able to have that relationship where I, as a broker, as a real estate agent, I know that I can get a hold of Leah, and she and her team, she's going to be able to take care of me. And same thing with Mindy, where I can go to you and say, hey, these are the extra or the unique or the interesting things about this client. And then I know it's going to get taken care of. And so, dream team.
Let's talk a little bit to the other thing that I know I've experienced just with clients, like, oh my gosh, I got this email, it doesn't look correct, they're asking me to send money, I thought I was supposed to wire to my escrow, like I don't know what's happening. So let's talk a little bit about wire fraud. And
is that still a thing? Is wire fraud really still a thing?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, you see it.
We see it all the time. It's really scary.
So scary.
Fraudsters will pretend to be us or the lender or the agent. They'll email the buyer. They copy and paste our signature blocks.
And it looks so real. Official. It looks so real.
They attach the wiring instructions, and what they're ultimately doing is trying to get that buyer to wire the money to the fraudster's account.
Right.
And there's so many moving pieces, emotions, unknown steps.
I gotta get it done. I gotta get it done.
The buyers follow the instructions thinking it's legit. And it's super unfortunate. We see that all the time. So we never ever email out wiring instructions. Always tell the clients to be vigilant.
Right.
I always tell them, like, my best recommendation to a client when they're going to wire is like, hey, can you please call and make sure that you go over what you need to do. Don't just go off the email. Call them. Pick up the phone.
For sure.
And call.
Like, Google a trusted number. Don't call the number on the email that you received from the fraudster. Google the trusted number. Call us. And we also try to reach out to the clients and warn them about this in the beginning. Good. I mean, I know they're getting warnings from the brokerage on paperwork, and it's on our signature blocks, but there are so many moving parts and unknown pieces. We really try to stop them and just remind them.
And anyone can be a victim. I mean, I know that there was a Saudi prince once who had reached out to me, and turns out he wasn't. No, I mean, this really is something that, everyday people can fall victim to. So it's so important that we do pay attention to it, especially now.
How often do you wire? I mean, the only time I've ever wired was when I was purchasing a property. It's an unknown thing, So
and you're just trying to get it done. You're down to the wire. You need to get your wire to escrow to get everything funded. So you're already stressed out. And so you're just trying to, do your best. But I know that I had heard a situation a few years ago where a borrower had wired $100,000 for their down payment, and it was fraudulent, and they ended up losing it all. And there was nothing that they could do to get it back.
Especially if it leaves the country. Once it's out of the country, you're done, right? I mean, sometimes, and I know a lot of the time, your team catches that, right? And they're able to stop it. But if that goes through, then it's really unfortunate. And so,
well, a lot of times we tell the buyers too, like, you can bring in a cashier's check. It doesn't have to be a wire transfer. So there's, there's another option. Unless you're at the day of closing, and in that case, a cashier's check has to season overnight. That's why we need it the day before the closing date. So there are circumstances at the end where clients do need to wire, but it's small. Most of the time, you can bring in a cashier's check.
Right. So the lesson here is, you need to work with an amazing and a reputable lender like Mindy Hay and find yourself a great agent. And in turn, we will connect you with an amazing title and escrow officer.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks for
sure.
coming. Thanks. This is so
Yeah.
fun. And I think just escrow and title is something that just sometimes gets confusing for
sure.
borrowers and clients, and so it's nice to have a little bit of content. So
Right.
thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Because it's a lot of information. It can
It
be
is.
confusing, and so don't be afraid to ask
Yes.
questions. Get a hold of us. Obviously, we will have contact information in our post.
Yeah.
So this was fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I say we get back to drinking
Yes.
some wine. Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.